Hello there guys, and welcome back to What If Deku Was KURAMA's Reincarnation, Part 4. Hope you guys will enjoy it. If you haven't realized yet, I'm trying to make my intros shorter. But if you want to help me, please drop a like, it does help me quite a lot. So let's try to like 400 likes, and let's begin. So last part, Izuku is fighting Todoroki in the semi-finals, and both of them surprise each other by using the full extent of their quirks, with Izuku revealing his transformation and his fire, and Todoroki actually using his fire in a fight. And after a drawn out fight, they decide to end it with one less attack. And because of that, the area was covered with smoke, and I think that's it for the summary. Let's continue from here. So everyone is wondering what happened. So Izuku explained about the temperature changing suddenly, and that caused a massive explosion. Then slowly the mist started dissipating, revealing Todoroki standing with half of his shirt missing because of his flames. And Izuku is nowhere to be seen. Then his voice echoed from all around them. Word of advice, Todoroki: when you are fighting someone, then you appear behind him. Never drop your guard until the fight is truly over. Todoroki instantly turned around to push him away, but Izuku was faster and he punched him in the gut, knocking the wind out of him. Then with one last kick, he kicked him out of the arena. Everyone cheered for Izuku's victory, and Izuku went to help Todoroki out. You okay? Yeah, I just need time to rest and heal. Mostly rest. I'm exhausted. You're a stamina freak, you know that? Izuku grinned. Considering my training regiment, I have to be. So soon the robot comes to take Todoroki, but he's looking at Izuku, and Izuku is looking at the stand. To be precise, he's looking at Bakugo. Bakugo is furious. He never knew that Deku was this strong. Was he always this strong? Why he was holding back? Was he mocking him? Looking down on him? And all of these thoughts keep playing inside Bakugo's head over and over again, and he's getting enraged, and Izuku can feel it. And he knew that he will do something, and since his next opponent is Tokoyami, he's fearing the worst. Recovery girl can fix physical injuries, but mental trauma is another thing. Izuku growled. If he does anything, the gloves are off, and his eyes are glowing red. And upon seeing this, Todoroki felt a shiver down his spine, and he pitied the poor bastard that angered Izuku. It makes Endeavor's anger like a kid is throwing a tantrum. So right after the fight, it's time for Bakugo to go against Tokoyami. And if people thought that he went hard on Oraka, he literally brutalized Tokoyami. And after recognizing his weakness, he basically went all out. On top of that, he took it personal, because 1. Tokoyami is class 1A, and he thinks that he deserved the place more than him. 2nd, he's friends with Izuku. So after the fight that almost forced the referees to interfere, the stadium was booing Bakugo. And Aizawa starts seeing the reason Izuku is pissed at him. Then he felt it, for a fraction of a second, another wave of killer intent, much powerful than the one before. He knew it come from Izuku, but he have an impassive face. But someone with his experience can see through the mask, and he knew the next fight will be nothing short than a massacre. While Bakugo is strong, Izuku is far ahead of him. And that without his sage mode, because during the past 2 weeks, he saw a glimpse on how Izuku trained. And he was almost forced to intervene. The kid literally punched a tree to the ground, using only his bare fist, and he's 100% sure that he was not using his quirk. So after the crowd calmed down, and they gave the students a time to rest, but soon they called for the fighters. Bakugo was the first one to arrive, and he had a devious smirk on his face. While he heard the rumors about 1A getting attacked, the general public doesn't know what exactly happened in the fight. Only the pro heroes, and only a select few. The majority of heroes were booing him, but then they were shot with a wave of killer intent, and it's coming from Izuku's direction. He slowly made his way out of the tunnel in all his 9 tails glory, and he had an emotionless face. His classmates were a bit weirded out. They only saw him smiling, smirking or laughing. Heck, even after fighting the Tenumu, he was still smirking. But for the experienced pro heroes, they know this is a mask, and they can feel the rage from his eyes. Midnight, seeing them both ready, she told them to begin. Bakugo prepared himself to launch toward Izuku, but he stopped when he saw him walking toward him. At first he was puzzled, then he became enraged, thinking that he's mocking him. So when Izuku is in arm's reach, he threw a right hook full of explosions, but Izuku was faster. He dodged the attack and punched Bakugo square in the face, and Bakugo fell to the ground, unconscious. Everyone were in shock, even Aizawa. He knew that Izuku was holding back. If he didn't, he would have sent Bakugo flying out of the arena. But this is where he hit him. That was a weak point, an extremely hard one to hit. Back to the fight, Midnight snapped out of it and she was going to call Izuku the winner. Bakugo groaned and he slowly wake up and he stand up. He asked what happened, but he quickly remembered. He looked at Izuku and growled. Damn you, how did you do it? That? I punched you. That's it. Bakugo gritted his teeth. He was going to attack Izuku, but he stopped once again. And Izuku is holding 3 fingers. And after a couple of seconds of silence, what's that supposed to mean? 3 minutes. I will give you 3 minutes. In those 3 minutes, I will not attack. I think that will be plenty of time for you, almighty Bakugo. That's what you called your name in middle school, right? So come on, show me what you can do. Bakugo let out a war cry and charged Izuku. And like he said, for the next 3 minutes, he kept dodging or blocking his attacks. He even tried to blind him using his stun grenade, only to fight Izuku behind him, giving his back to him. Then after a bit, Izuku grabbed his arm. Time's up. Any last words? Bakugo just growled. Thought so. And what happened next can only describe by a massacre. In less than a minute, Izuku utterly and totally broke Bakugo. From fractured ribs to broken bones, heck, he even grabbed him by his legs and slammed him against the ground a couple of times, creating spiderweb cracks. And throughout all of this, everyone are watching in stunned silence. This is a new side from Izuku that they never seen before. And for Izuku, when he stopped, he grabbed Bakugo by the throat and lifted him up to eye level. You know, I never thought that this would go down to this. Heck, I even made sure that you never make it to UA. So you are? Bakugo asked, choking on some spit and blood. Yes, I am the one that informed the cops about you and the other teachers did. Truth be told, my first plan was for you to get into UA, then inform the teachers so they can expel you, teaching you some humility. But then I met All Might, and I thought it would be better that your hero will tell you that he's disappointed in you, and that will surely teach you some humility. But I was wrong. I was so wrong of giving you a second chance. I should have realized after all the death threats, the beating, the isolation, and I can go on and on. Then Izuku growled, but somehow with all of this, that stupid mouse let you in. And truth be told, the second I saw you, I wanted nothing less than to break you. To show you the truth that you are nothing. You just got lucky with genetics. You said that you want to become a hero. But you bully, hurt, and taunted the weak, and cursed the strong. Well, stronger than you. And trust me, it's not that hard. But back to the point. I could have destroyed you any time I wanted to for the past 2 years. I could have mounted your head on a spike for everyone to see, but I stayed my hand. At first I thought that my rational mind is telling me that I don't want to become like you. But soon I realized it's not it. I just pity you. You're just a spoiled brat with a superiority complex. The only thing that is useful to an extent is your quirk. You just get lucky with genetics. Remove that and you are nothing. You're more like a villain than a hero. On top of that, you are nothing than a coward. Then Izuku let go of him and quickly unpalmed him in the chest, sending him flying to the wall. Cue a few seconds of silence. Then Izuku got the attention of Midnight. I think I won. Alright, she snapped out of it and declared Izuku the winner. Soon the rest snap out of it and they start cheering him, even though they are a bit afraid. But soon their cheering was stopped when an explosion was heard from Bakugo's direction and he was flying straight at Izuku, and he sees red. Because in his eyes, everything that happened is because of him. His chance of becoming a hero are gone because of him. And he's stuck in general study. But then when he got close enough, Izuku leaped above him, he spun around, forming a Rasengan in his right hand, and he thrust into his back Minato style, destroying a good chunk of the arena. After the smoke quickly dissipates, everyone can see Bakugo on the ground, bleeding profusely. Cheap shot will not work on me, Katsuki. And like I said, you are nothing than a coward. Then Izuku walked away, and Bakugo was disqualified. So after a bit, everyone were called to get their medals. The third place is Ida, but he's missing. The second place is Tokoyami, and the first place is Izuku. All Might get congratulate them, but when he saw Izuku, he can see the rage and the disappointment in his eyes. And All Might know why, he can only apologize. And of course after this, his classmate asked him about his sudden animosity toward Bakugo, So he gave them an abridged version of what happened. They were shocked, and some of the students, like Kirishima, pointed out that they heard about this. But they started asking themselves why they let Bakugo inside UA. Izuku growled, because the damn mouse is an idiot. So everyone decided to let Izuku calm down a bit. Obviously, he's more than pissed. So they were given the next couple of days to rest, and in it Izuku heard what happened to Ingenium. So when they are in the class, Izuku can feel the rage coming from Ida, and he also can feel something familiar, revenge, and not the control one like he had. So soon Izuku entered the classroom and he told them about the internships, and Izuku got number 1 in the recommendations, and Todoroki is right behind him. So while everyone are discussing which agency they should go to, Izuku is waiting patiently, and after the class ended and he saw that Ida left, he quickly snatched his paper and he saw where he went. Thought so. Aizawa saw him and asked him what is he doing. They lack eyes? Nothing, just checking something. And luckily Izuku have a recommendation from the same agency that Ida went to, so he chose it and left it at that. Of course, after seeing this, Aizawa gets suspicious, but he doesn't know what Izuku is doing, and of course he will not tell him, and he understands why. So soon everyone are meeting to say goodbye for each other for a time being, and Ida was surprised to see Izuku with him, and when he asked him why he chose this agency, Izuku shrugged. I felt like it. Then they stood quiet, with Ida thinking about his revenge, but soon it was broken by Izuku asking, "Are you sure about this?" Ida looked at him with a puzzled look. "You know what I mean. I knew why you chose this agency. So be frank, I'm not your parent, so I cannot tell you what to do. But I'm telling you this. Are you sure you want to walk this path? And before you give me an answer, think carefully, because the path that you're taking is not an easy one. So don't complain when things get hard." Ida was going to ask what does he mean, but he was interrupted by the train stopping. They arrive. And just like that, he knew that the conversation has ended. So fast forward a couple of days, and nothing happened. The pro hero showed Izuku and Ida how to patrol. Izuku found it boring because he can cover the whole city just by his sixth sense, and because of that he can feel a certain presence full with bloodlust. So there you are, Stain. So what is your next move? And later that day he got his answer. For a second he felt a familiar presence, just like the USJ, but then it disappeared. But it reappeared after a bit, but this time there is 3 Numus attacking the city. Izuku seen Rida run off, seemingly going after Stain, but he knew the current heroes cannot do anything about these Numus, so he dispelled a clone that was hiding nearby, gathering nature chakra, and because of it he's entered sage mode. So after a few massive Rasengan, he dealt with the Numus. Then the pro hero starts shouting to Ida and asking where is he. "I know," Izuku cut him off, "but do you have permission to use my quirk to get him?" The pro hero nod, and Izuku disappeared immediately. And when he arrives, he can see Ida yelling at Stain, and there is a pro hero nearby bleeding. And Izuku got pissed. Not at Stain, he's a villain, but at Ida. He will make sure to give him a good talking to after this. But first, some humility will be good. So he let Stain beat him up a bit, until he was going to land the finishing blow. But then Izuku appeared grabbing his blade. "Okay, that's enough, Stain." "Huh? Another kid? Who are you?" "Me?" Izuku smirked. "Call me KURAMA." Then he backhanded Stain to the wall, and that was able to knock Stain out. And because of that, the effect of his quirk were cancelled. So both Ida and the pro hero stand up. "You're okay?" Izuku asked the pro hero. "Yeah, I will live." Then he looked at Ida, and Ida is pissed. "What are you doing here? This is my fight, so don't interfere." Hearing this, Izuku got pissed and he backhanded Ida to the wall. And because he's still in sage mode, that hit hurt a lot. So when Ida fell to the ground and looked up to Izuku, when he saw his eyes, they're not the normal green that he used to, or his red slitted one when he transformed against Todoroki. But this time they are red, a horizontal line in the middle, and he have pigmentation around his eyes. "If I were you, Ida, I will shut the hell up. Tell me something. What is a hero's job? Is to save people, right? So why were you just doing? I saw your fight, if you call it that. I know that you're fast enough to blitz Stain using the Recipro, or at the very least, take the hero and get a good distance from him. But what did you do?" Ida stood quiet. "What did you do?" And Izuku is inches away from his face, and Ida can feel the bloodlust coming out of him. back at school always said the hero should follow the rules and whatnot. But the second it got personal, you forgot the codes and the morals, right? So what, you're above the rules? Ida stood quiet for a few seconds, then he clenched his fist and told him he doesn't know how he feel. And this pissed off Izuku even more. He grabbed Ida by his face and lifted him up. Listen here, you know nothing about me. I'm pretty sure you heard what I did to Bakugo. And let me tell you something. That bastard deserves it and more. Or matter of fact, let me show you. Izuku pressed one of his fingers on Ida's forehead, and Ida felt a rush of memories and feelings, and quickly realized this is Izuku's. He felt the sadness, the loneliness, and all of this was because of Bakugo. And he saw how Izuku showed a lot of restraint when he was dealing with Bakugo. Then Izuku dropped him to the ground. Zip it, Izuku cut him off. Why, I had some respect to you back at school. Now I have none to you. Right now, in my eyes, you're not a hero or hero in training. You're nothing more than a hypocrite. And until you fix yourself, don't ever address me in a friendly manner ever again. Ida just lowered his head and nod. So for how long you are going to act like you're unconscious? Stain? And Onkyu Stain got up. So you know, huh? Izuku nod. Let me tell you something, kid. I know that you hold back a lot in that punch. Plus, I heard, you're a real one. So step aside and let me finish my job. Sadly, I won't, for 2 reasons. Or 3, to be precise. 1. While I understand what you're doing, and I somewhat agree with you that there is a lot of fake heroes nowadays, you're just hurting the wrong people. While there is quite a bit of heroes that aim only for money, they're using it for good reasons. Like Mount Lady. She's using her good luck to get more money so she can fix what she broke when she used her quirk. And the list goes on. Second, while my damn ass or my classmate did something wrong, he's still a kid and he can learn. And third, Izuku grinned. A hero will interfere. A hero will have to interfere where he should not to. Stain smirked back. I guess so. We have to fight. Izuku nodded. And doing that talk, he lost his sage mode. While he can reiterate using the clones that he scattered around, gathering nature energy waiting to be used, he decided to fight him without it. The guy looked skilled, and even though he had the memories of KURAMA, he was never in a real fight that solely focused on skill. So they start fighting, and both are impressed with each other, with Izuku realizing that Stain doesn't have a strength quirk, so all this strength comes only from training. And for Stain, is impressed that someone this young is this skilled. It's like he's fighting a pro hero, not a kid. Soon their fight dragged out into the middle of the street. So after a bit the pro hero shows up, and even though Izuku somewhat respects Stain, he knew that leaving him on the street will be a bad idea. So he tricked him, and when he saw an opening, he shoved Rasengan into his chest, sending him crashing into the wall. Stain stand up for a bit, he smiled at Izuku. Good luck, hero. He smiled at him, then he passed out. And even though it was his job, Izuku did not like this win. But the musings were interrupted when a Numu came flying toward Izuku, tried to pick him up. Keyword, tried. The second he got close, Izuku instantly turned around and cut all his limbs and his wings. The hero stood quiet about the quick and brutal way of dispatching of the Numu. But they quickly gathered their composure, they tied up Stain and gathered the rest of the Numu. And after a bit, the paramedic and the police arrive. They check on the hero and Ida because they're bleeding. The heroes and the cop tried to reprimand Deku a bit, but he told them that he got the permission to use his quirk to get his dumbass of a teammate. And the poor hero assigned to them confirm it. So the blame is solely on Ida, and Izuku is not going to help him. It was his decision, so he have to face the consequence. So after this, the work study ended, and everyone were given 1 day to rest before going back to school. Except for Izuku, he was called to UA, so now he's sitting facing all the teachers. He have a passive look on his face. Then Nizu asked, do you know why you're here? You figured out that I know about Ida's intention going after Stain and I didn't tell you. And you're absolutely right. This stunned the teachers. Why? They ask. Because I don't trust you. Well, mostly you, principal, and the others, guilt by association. If I tell them anything, they will tell you. So if you're going to blame anyone, blame yourself. And you know damn well why I don't trust you. The teacher stood quiet and Nizu sighed and looked down. Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry we not do anything. You messed up 2 years of planning. I was hoping with that actions, you will be taught some humility. And what you do, you f*** all my plans. Just because you had a soft heart for someone that don't deserve to be a hero in the beginning. The teachers were going to protest, but they were stopped with a knock on the door. Nizu ushered them in, and to his surprise, here comes Bakugo's parents. "Why are you here?" he asked. "You called us?" they said. "Actually, I did," Izuku chimed in. "But we are sure we talked to him, we heard his voice." "Oh, you mean like this?" And Izuku is mimicking Nizu's voice. "You should be more careful next time." Then he switched his voice to Aizawa. "Because you don't know what type of secret talent people have nowadays." Then he switched back to his normal voice. "So please have a seat. Because we are talking about Bakugo, or what he did." And when he said his name, his parents flinched, and that did not go unnoticed by the pro hero and Izuku. So they sit down. "So what we can do, Izuku?" "I'll go straight to the point. Show me your backs." They flinch even more. "But why?" "Just do it." They won't to protest, but one look into his slitted red eyes, and they complied. Or Bakugo's dad complied. And everyone gasped, and Izuku clenched his fist and closed his eyes. Because his back is full with handprints. Explosions. Handprints. "And let me guess, you're the same as him." He asked Mitsuki. She cried a bit and nodded. At first he was shouting, but then he got a bit physical right before we entered into UA. "I figured that out already," Izuku growled. "After Nizu said that you are a bit fidgety." "I know you, Auntie Mitsuki. You're strong, but not a fighter. And your son." Then he opened his eyes, and they are, screw it, I'm just going to call it Kyuubi Sage Mode. You know the one, the mix between Sage Mode and the red eyes of Kyuubi, has drawn his last breath. "Midoriya, calm down," All Might shout, but Izuku disappeared in a wave of flame. "Damn it, we have to stop him before he do it," Aizawa shout, but All Might is already ahead of him. He used his super healing to hear where Izuku is going and followed him, and he's truly amazed about Izuku's speed. He heard the story from Aizawa, but seeing it with his own eyes is something else. And he see him going straight to the woods. And a couple of minutes back, Bakugo is in the woods, blowing up some steam. Literally. And he's cursing everything, even Izuku. Because of his actions, not only he was put into general study, but he was forbidden from going into internships. And now everyone know about his criminal record because of him. I just want to kill him, but what's up with that strength? Where did it come from? "If you seek power, I can give it to you." A voice called out from behind Bakugo. He turned around and he saw a man just as tall as All Might, wearing a suit, and he have a mask on his face. "Who are you?" "Who am I? My name is allforone, and I can see the potential in you, young Bakugo, and I can make you even stronger. Stronger than Izuku Midoriya. And unlike UA, I will not hold you back. You just have to follow me." Bakugo hearing this, he just grinned and nodded. Then he heard Izuku calling for him from above. He turned around only to see a gigantic dragon made of fire coming toward him. He quickly leaped into the portal that allforone just walked into, and it closed milliseconds before the attack hit. Izuku landed on the ground and everything is burning, but there is no trace of Bakugo, so he escaped. He yelled at the top of his lungs, and for All Might, for a second there, he saw something that terrified him, because right now he's in front of the gigantic fox, and it's howling in anger. And that's where I'm going to end this part. Sorry I haven't uploaded for 15 days. I am job searching, and I was told there was a position opened, but the files that I need are pretty hard to get right now. So basically, me and my family were running like chicken without heads for a bit. And this part took me like 3 days to make, because I was going on and off on it. So I hope you guys did enjoy it, and drop a like, it does help me quite a lot. And see you guys soon. Peace.